Lord Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj and his brothers, great sages, and more went to see Bhisma, who was lying on the bed of arrows. Bhisma Dev, being a great devotee of Lord Krishna, did not want to leave the material world without seeing Lord Krishna face to face. Due to a promise, Bhisma Dev was stuck on the bad side, so this is why he was in this situation. Because Bhisma Dev was empowered by Lord Krishna, he had great yogic powers, and thereby was able to leave this material world whenever he wanted to. While looking at Lord Krishna, he said many beautiful prayers. Here are few of the many prayers.
Bhisma said,
Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable, original personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva, Narada the sage amongst the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about his glories through direct contact. May my Lord, whose beautifully decorated lotus face, with eyes as red as the rising sun, is smiling, kindly await me at that moment when I quit this material body.
By pure meditation, looking at Lord Sri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. He prayed to Lord Krishna. Bhismadeva said,
Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the material world is created. Fulfilling my vow and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly.
Lord Krishna promised before the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra that he would remain without weapons and would not use his strength for either of the parties. But to protect Arjuna, he got down from the chariot, took up the wheel of the chariot, and hurriedly rushed at Bhismadev in an angry mood. Remember, Bhismadev was fighting on the wrong immoral side because of a promise. So, a person has to be careful to not be on the wrong immoral side like Duryodhan. Yet, because Bhismadev was a devotee of Lord Krishna, he was not killed by Lord Krishna, and at the same time Arjuna, a great devotee of Lord Krishna, was not killed either. Bhismadev, who at once gave up his weapons and stood to be killed by Krishna for being on the immoral side due to a promise, was not killed. Lord Krishna knows that a devotee always wants to do the right moral things, so he understood Bhisma's heart. The fighting of the day was thus ended at that very moment, and Arjuna was saved. Of course, there was no possibility of Arjuna's death because the Lord himself was on the chariot, but because Bhismadev wanted to see Lord Krishna take up some weapon to save his friend, the Lord created this situation, making Arjuna's death appear imminent. He stood before Bhismadev to show him that his promise was fulfilled and that he had taken up the wheel.
At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Rasa dance. At the Rajasuyajna sacrifice performed by Maharaja Yudhishthira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one.
Then, Bhismadev merged himself in the Supersoul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions. Both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect. And from the sky fell showers of flowers. Stay tuned for more stories about Lord Krishna from the Srimad Bhagavatam, translated from Sanskrit by Srila Prabhupada. Please don't forget to subscribe to this good luck channel. Lord Krishna and Radharani are blessing you all for listening to these stories from the auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna!